Y'all, so this morning I was asked to clean a ring that had been in the jewelry box for a long time. It was a silver ring, but you know how silver can turn. It almost looks like rusted. Uh, it looks rusted. It looks like it's like turning black or whatever. And so we saw this trend on TikTok that we thought we would give it a try. And so in doing that, the trend was you just had to put salt over the ring and then cover it with boiling water, let it sit for 1 minute. So after the minute was up, I looked at the ring. I was like, well, that did nothing. So I was like, let me try it again. So I did it again about 5 more times. And after the fifth time or so, I went to the sink. I rinsed it with cold water like it told me to do. And I started to see a little bit of the silver start to come through. So I was like, let me take this towel, wipe it dry. I mean, maybe this is all that is to it. So as I begin to wipe it dry, as I begin to wipe the ring dry and kind of rub it a little bit with a towel, I started to notice more of the silver popping through. So I was like, well, let me get a toothbrush and kind of scrub because the ring has ridges on it. So I was like, let me get in here. Let me try to do a little more digging. Let me see if I can actually. So now I'm getting excited about the process. So I'm like, let me go in a little bit more. So I begin to scrub the ring. I found an old toothbrush. I sprayed some dish soap on it, and then I started scrubbing. When I tell you the silver started to show even more, I was like, okay, okay. Y'all get excited about the silliest stuff. So I was like, well, let me do this. Let me flash clean it one more time. So I poured the salt back over it, boiled the water, and did it again. And it came back even more shinier. So the final time that I did this, I went back to the sink, got the toothbrush and began to do its final. Let me get because though it was soaking in the hot water wasn't enough. It needed to be scrubbed. It needed to be cultivated. So I take it out of, I begin to scrub it again with the toothbrush and the Dawn and begin to wash it clean. And as I'm washing it clean, I rinse it with the water, and then I take a microfiber towel because now I'm trying to get fancy. I get the microfiber towel and I begin to almost like shine the ring again. When I tell you the diamonds or the stones begin to glisten again, the silver became more silver again. It just it looked brand new all over again. I wish I would have had a before picture, but it looked brand new all over it again. The same sparkle that it had when it was first bought began to come back. So as I'm writing this in my journal, because I'm like, there has to be some significance to this thing. It has to be something, because something in my spirit began to rise up. And as I'm praying, I'm speaking in tongues, I'm talking to God, and as I'm writing out this revelation or this thing that is coming to me about this ring, I just happened to look up. And easier, what I saw were the words, easier, faster tonight. Easier and faster tonight. Oh my God. And I begin to speak in tongues and I begin to rejoice with the Lord. Easier and faster. Some of those things that we have had on the back shelf, some of the things in us that we thought were so dead and were not going to come back to life again, God said easier and faster tonight. He is making all things new. That dead thing, that thing that did not look like it had any type of promise, He is making all things new. I don't know what easier and faster means to you, but if you have something in the ground, if you have been believing and hoping for something from the Lord, if you have been standing on His promises and seeing nothing in the process, easier and faster tonight. I don't know what that means for you, but for me, my spirit began to rejoice because easier and faster. My God is so good. I don't know who needed to hear this word, but I pray you take it literally, because I have a habit of not taking words back to God because I'm like, dang, that sounds good. Let me take that for myself. But make sure it's for you. Make sure you know when God is speaking to you in season. And sometimes you can save it for later and come back to it. Easier and faster. Easier and fast. Y'all, when I tell you God be speaking through things that you won't even think that He can speak through. I saw easier and faster tonight on the back of chicken stock on the back of the chicken stock container, but it spoke so loud. It was like the words were speaking right off the y'all, and I didn't even think my shirt inside out. Listen. Wow.